Welcome to Fab Talk with Trish M, prophet, pastor, teacher, CEO of Trish M Enterprises, author, wife, mother, and your podcast host. If you're ready for the word, the way, and the truth, then this podcast is for you. Get ready for another level in the things of God, motivation, inspiration, and empowerment that's going to catapult you to new dimensions. Hold on tight. It's time for Fab Talk with your girl, Trish M. If you're ready for the word, the way, and the truth, then this podcast is for you. Get ready for another level in the things of God, motivation, inspiration, and empowerment that's going to catapult you to new dimensions. Hold on tight. It's time for Fab Talk with your girl, Trish M. Listen. If God speaks to you through dreams and visions and you're trying to understand exactly what it means, you know that God has been speaking to you for quite some time. And matter of fact, your dreams have gotten stronger and visions have come more frequently. Then if that's you, I want to invite you to get into my School of Prophets, Understanding Dreams and Visions program. This program is exactly what you need to give you biblical foundations in exploring what the Bible says about dreams and visions and how God uses them. I'm going to teach you how to interpret your dreams and your visions with practical interpretations techniques. You're going to learn the meaning of dreams, differentiate between whether the dream is of God or another source like yourself. I'm going to give you real life examples of dreams that have happened and have manifested and how they were interpreted. I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask questions and provide feedback throughout the program so that in all you're getting, you'll get an understanding, okay? So listen, if you get into this program, you're going to get 12 classes that you could take at your own pace. You'll get prophetic mentoring with me, a free 30-minute segment where we talk one-on-one about your gift, your call, and your anointing. You'll be a part of my prophetic mentoring group on Facebook. You'll get a free ticket to the Speak Lord Prophetic Mega Conference, and you'll get the bonus class, The Gift of Discerning of Spirits. So if this is you and you know God is challenging you to grow somewhere, to get mentored, to get trained, to get groomed, to get prepared for what He's showing you, then this program, Understanding Dreams and Visions, is just for you. Check it out today at www.mocinow.com/DNV. That's www.mocinow.com/DNV. It's time to grow somewhere. It's time to go to the next level of who God has called you to be. Join the program today. mocinow.com/DNV.
Before we get started, amen, we're going to watch a video real quick. If you would go ahead, Corey, and play that video for us, the digital video on the digital. Turn that up.
And yes, we are in an era of... And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes. For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders. We do need to know who is in our country. Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. Puts paid to a story we often hear in the press these days.
So, end time happenings. Did y'all just hear that? Yeah. That came out last week, I believe. Digital ID, national digital ID moves in the UK and the European states. This is now, by the end of 2026, is going to be mandatory that there is a digital ID, that without this ID, that people will not be able to work or have access to resources of any kind. What does that sound like? Let's go to Revelation 13, 16 through 17. I'm reading NIV. It says, it also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now we know that this is coming during, rapture times, right? We're not in rapture. We know that. But what this is doing is setting it up for it to already be in place. So this nation just declared it mandatory. It is about to be a domino effect now, where all nations, what they call that when the nations get the little people get together from the nation? Mm-hmm. They come together and they make decisions based on how this nation is doing something. And so what we're about to see is, and that's why we got to pay attention, because Jesus, the signs are at hand. If you are not paying attention to news and seeing these things happen, these things are in motion, and it is set up for Jesus to come, because they are putting these things in place already. You want to add something to that? That was one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we are all aware of, that this is about to be a domino effect. So get ready. By the end of 2026, that's next year, this is fixing to be mandatory. Over in the UK only right now. Russia, China, and a couple other nations are meeting with the UK to discuss how they're going to do it so that they can give insight on what's happening. Surveillance and facial recognition and data control is going global. They're putting a lot of stuff on immigration, but this has nothing to do with immigration. Prophetess LaShanda said this earlier. For those that missed it earlier, we're going to piggyback on that in just a minute, because I want to share something that she shared. This is not a setup for immigration. This is a setup for control. This is a setup to see who you are, what you're doing, and how you're doing it. And if they don't like what you're doing, they're going to do certain things to certain people that don't abide by what they say. So you'll see it even in the White House. They're trying to come up with surveillance stuff to make sure that everybody is digitized in the system.
You know, when you guys go to travel and they tell you all to sign up for global entry, global entry is giving your rights away. It's the same thing as the biometric ID when you get global entry. And so that's one of the ways that they have you slid it in for you to, I want to travel, I want to move expeditiously, I want to be, you know, I want to make sure that this process is a process of convenience. But what people don't realize is that's why they say we're going to give you this many months free. We're going to allow you to have this. We're going to allow you to have global entry for that. Because what they want you to do, you signing up for it, but you don't realize that you're signing over your rights for your credit. Basically, it's an invasion of privacy. If you say that I want global entry is allowing them access to all areas of your life, your bank account, all of those areas. And so it's in the U.S., they're using different methods instead of just saying like the UK is saying this is mandatory. What they do in the U.S., because we're a democracy and London, England is a kingdom, in the U.S., they slide it in where we're not paying attention. So we're not aware. We're not looking at the fine lines. We're just looking at convenience. And we're not reading what's really going on.
Wow. And this is happening, and it's happening so fast that people are not paying attention. Like we still out here living haphazardly, like we got all the time in the world, and we really don't. We really don't. Things are happening so fast that it's going above a lot of our heads that we can't even see it. I was just on there, and this is one of my notes, how the end times, rising persecution and attacks on believers globally. China just passed a law that if they spot anybody with a Bible or go on social media talking about Jesus or anything, they're putting them in jail. They just put a 2-year-old child in jail for having a Bible. I saw a post today was it Nigeria? The pastor was calling for help from the United States because he was in a hole where they had massacred Christians. They were just laying in the ground. And they were blotting out the picture so you couldn't see their faces. But he was crying out for help, that they are killing Christians like never before over here. We need help. It has gone to another level. And that's why I think I said this Sunday, or whenever it was here at MOCI, I said, we got to work ourselves in and then go out. Because we got families right now, family members that are fitting to burn hell wide, tear hell up, because they are not in the right standing with God. So we got to start working on ministering to these people and helping them realize the signs of the times. But if you don't realize the signs of the times, there will be no form of urgency in you to get your life and to help others get their life. I think we're wasting so much time with bitterness and unforgiveness and jealousy and all these things that go against the fruit of the Spirit of God, that we don't even see that God is trying to get. He was like, you could tell when the seasons are changing, but you can't tell that Jesus is about to show up and show out. Like we could say, oh, it's going to be cold next week. I was just telling you it's going to be 40 degrees next week. We could tell that, right? But we are so in sync with social media that we're missing the global cry out from heaven that God is trying to get believers' attention. So, we see the regional and the global conflict. We see the wars. But here's one thing that God really showed me, Prophetess. He said, we hear about these wars, like Russia and Ukraine been at war for about 3-4 years now, something like that. Who else is at war right now?
Africa is really at war
Israel,
with France. Africa's at war with France, and I don't think people realize that. The African nations are uniting, and they're kicking out all European nations. And so they are restabilizing the region by uniting and using their own resources now. And so France is really about to be a third world country. This is what the urgency is in the European nations, saying that they getting ready to put these different type of things in place, is that the other nations are waking up to how they have been treated and mistreated and used. And so they're coming, God is awakening them, and they're coming together. And as they're coming together, the enemy is upset, and so he's trying to accelerate the timeline. And so in order for him, COVID was a reset, not just for us naturally, but spiritually. And it was supposed to allow a blanket of maturity to come upon the people. He brought us back home so that we can get our homes in order. To get our homes in order, because he understands what's at stake right now. And so now there was a time for us to unify as a family. Now we understand that there is an evil that is looking to take out humanity. So now as you have unified your home, as the woman of God just said, we got to get our houses in order. We got people that's going to hell. We need to get them in order. That was the time to do all of those things. Now there's an onslaught or an attack that has been launched, that the people of God, we still in a COVID mentality where we think we can be relaxed. We think that this is just me, myself, and I type of thing. Me, myself, and my family. Me, myself, and we're not concerned about what's going on in neighboring countries, in different nations, because we're only concerned about what's going on in the U.S. because that's what they want you to see all the time. They want you to see Trump. They want you to see what's happening here. They want you to see all these things, but you don't see these other nations that are unifying. You don't see them unifying. You don't see them pulling out of certain things because they don't agree with the biometric system. You don't see them standing up at the UN talking. The ambassador, the prime minister of Barbados, she went on to tell them that she was not going to be a part of that, and she was taking 4 Caribbean countries with her that would begin to allow people to travel and work amongst the four nations. And so they were upset with that, because what that does is it stops their money. It stops their money. It stops how they begin to trade as these nations begin to unite together. And so we so stuck on what's going on in the United States that we're not seeing that things are happening all around us, because we stuck on black and white. That's all we stuck on is black and white, and it's bigger than a black and white.
Wow, that's so good. And we can't forget Israel. I tell people, anytime you want to know what God, like the shifting, the sign of the times, study Israel. Study what's going on in Israel. Pay attention to Israel. They've been in war for a while. So much Hamas and all the back and forth with that. And now we see, quote unquote, peace. All right? So let's talk about that, because I really want us to pay attention to the peace that is happening, because that is a true sign of end times, right? So we got all these wars and conflicts, but then now all of a sudden in the United States, we have a president who is claiming peace, right? Peace, I didn't stop this war. Okay, we're finna get to that. There will be false proclamations of peace. First Thessalonians 5:2-3. It says, "For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape." Ezekiel 13:10. "Because indeed they have seduced my people, saying peace, when there is no peace. And one builds a wall and they plaster it with untempered mortar." God rebukes false prophets who prophesy peace. False people who are saying peace, and it really ain't no peace. He rebukes them, and he's going to take care of them. He is going to handle all of this stuff. Jeremiah 6:14 says, but this is what God gave me. He said, "This mirrors what will happen in the last days. Religious leaders and political figures proclaiming unity and peace while ignoring sin, truth, and righteousness." Jeremiah 6:14, "They also have healed the hurt of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace." Daniel 8:25, "And through his policy Also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hands, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. This is speaking of the Antichrist, where he says he will use peace as a weapon. By peace shall destroy many, meaning diplomacy, agreements, and false security to gain control before revealing his true nature. This peace will be political and it will be deceptive. It is going to be a satanic counterfeit of Christ's true peace. In Revelation 6:1-4, now I saw the Lamb, when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and behold, a white horse who sat on it had a bow, but no arrow, and a crown who was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer. This is a false Christ or a false peace. So if we look at false peace in the end time, it's going to be proclaimed by leaders. It's going to be built. It's a peace built on compromise. It's temporary. It's deceptive, and it appeals to fear and fatigue, because people crave relief from certain things, and right now people are craving relief, and so peace is being proclaimed. President Trump, Donald Trump, has been the #1 president. Listen, in the history of presidents, he has been the president with the most peace claims since coming into office this year. He has only been in office, this is 10 months, and he has already, in all the other presidents that have come forth, he has topped every single president with the claims of peace. We need to fact check that. July 28, 2025, he said, I stopped 6 wars. August 2025, I've solved 7 conflicts. You can see that in the Washington Post. White House articles he wrote using the phrases peace through strength and leading with peace to describe his foreign policy goals or his achievements. You can see that, find that in the White House. The Trump Declaration for Ending Peace and Prosperity is a presidential memorandum signed on October 13, 2025. So you can find all of these things, and there's so many. I was documenting all forms on October 13th. This was just last week. His exact quote, I've achieved the impossible. Trump celebrates peace in the Middle East after signing Gaza deal. Go ahead.
I already know who
I achieve pride. So he, while all the wars were going on in Gaza, Trump had went there, met with Israel president, I don't know if y'all saw this, in talks of buying Gaza, purchasing Israel, a piece of Israel. Can we play the Trump Gaza video?
This video is bizarre, some would say outright offensive. A 30-second AI-generated clip showing the future vision of Gaza. And yes, it was shared by President Donald Trump on his social media accounts. Let's take it back to the beginning, where you see a Gaza in ruins, somehow transformed into a golden Gulf paradise. And wait, let me pause for the music. Then there's what looks like an Elon Musk eating hummus, bearded men in belly dancing outfits, and of course, the Donald himself. Now, you may remember President Trump shocked the world when he suggested Gaza should be turned into the Riviera of the Middle East and the Palestinians living there displaced from the enclave. Well, this seems to be an illustration of that scheme. And here's the real kicker: Prime Minister Netanyahu and Donald Trump lounging, enjoying the AI-generated luxury of it all. It may look comical, but this is no laughing matter. A ceasefire deal is set to expire this weekend, and it could bring war back to Gaza. This video is
All right.
bizarre. Someone's
Now, show the picture of Trump. So Trump plans to buy Gaza, and he wants to put a golden statue of himself in Gaza, making it like a French Riviera. When do we see a golden statue in the Bible? It was a false god that the children of Israel erected while Moses was in the presence of God. We have to pay attention to all this stuff. So he's trying to buy it. He's trying to put a gold statue of himself in Gaza. And he has, now while this is in place, and we're going to move on, we're going to wrap this up, I just want to highlight this stuff for you guys because I don't think y'all are paying attention. Well, some of us anyway. So we got a golden statue of Trump. We got ICE that he has ordered to here in the United States to go and do stuff, right? Knocking people out and do all this stuff. Can you share what you shared earlier about ICE?
Okay, so earlier today we were as we was going forth, the Lord has basically been speaking to me about how the ICE raids are really not raids on Hispanic people or those who are immigrants. That what is happening politically is that they're using laws to overturn certain laws that protect certain people that are natively born but are not of European descent. And so every time we see them going forth or overturning things, because everything you see is an overturning of a law. It is the violation of a law. It is the violation of the Constitution, but you see it in operation, but nobody is really saying anything because they don't know what to do, because this is the first time that this has ever happened like this. And so those laws are supposed to be in place to protect our civil liberties, but we have never been considered humans in the first place. And so if you start overturning things, what's going to happen is you're going to get back to the root of how things were established when we were established here. And so he's trying to overturn those things. So anybody who was born here, which we would be considered born here if they're saying we came from Africa, that means that guess what? We immigrants too. Wow. Right? Wow. And so with that being said, that's why all of these laws are being overturned. So anybody that is not Anglo or Caucasian or of European descent, then guess what? I have rights over you. You're not a citizen. You don't belong here. That's why it's easy for folks to say, go back to your country. Wow. Go back to where you came from. We have to realize that comes from somewhere. There's a root that is there. Right. And no matter how we want to move and believe, that root is still rooted in America's soil. Nobody overturned that. Nobody dealt with that. We just sweep it under the rug. And so you see, they're trying to take all of our history out of the museums, out of the schools. They're trying to overturn things. Why? Because if I can erase it, if the people don't remember, then I can go back and I can start another Holocaust. And that's what we have to begin to look at. When you can take people of any color, of any race, snatch them away from their children, from their babies, and split the families up. The people don't know where their children are, and place them in concentration camps, because this is where these people are going. They're going to modern day concentration camps. How diabolical are you as a person to be able to do another person like that? That means that there's no humanity in you, because whether or not you saved or not, you still have some type of humanity in you, to where you should be able to look at your neighbor and say, I wouldn't do this to my worst enemy. But we see that those are the things that are happening, and those are the things that are being perpetuated. And so we have to position ourselves as a people to come against that in prayer. And when I say come against that in prayer, you need to make sure that your lawmakers, that you're praying for them, that you're praying for people that you see fighting. You may not be the one that's going out to fight, but guess what? One can put 1,000, two can put 10,000. And so I see somebody with a voice, I'm going to put my voice in intercession behind their voice.
That's so good. I hadn't shared my dream with her at all. We have not talked about ice. We have not. All I did was say, sis, let's talk some end time stuff. Let me tell you what I told my husband last week. I had a dream out of nowhere. I woke up like, what just happened? I told him, he was like, wow, babe, God is really just showing you some stuff. I saw ice, men in the dream, it was ice, they had the masks, they had the hats, they had the uniforms. And they had come where I was at. And it was people in my church, and I could call out specific names because you were in that dream. They came where I was at, and they asked them a question, and they responded to the question. They made them turn around, get on the ground, and they immediately shot them in the head. They hit one. Oh, you? Boom, shot you. Boom. They was looking for somebody else. Oh, you? Boom, shot. And all of them fell dead. All of them fell dead. And I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, ice is not what you think it is. Ice is a cover-up to kill and destroy people. And the Spirit of the Lord even revealed to me that even the people that have been taken, they are not where y'all think they are.
They ain't gonna make their country.
They are killing people. And it's looking like Hispanics right now. But then I told the Lord when I got out of the dream, I said, God, that was like my people. I saw black people. Because it was black people. Well, they asked one question, shot them, and kept moving like it. No, what did you call that? No feelings whatsoever. It was just a coldness behind it. A coldness. And I looked in that dream in awe. Like, what am I looking at? And the Lord said, warn the people, because ice is coming. He said, warn the people, because ice is not what you think it is. It's a cover-up to kill, steal, and destroy. And we saw on the news where they alligator Alcatraz, something that they built for ice people, alligator Alcatraz, where they built this place, and all around it they put alligators, supposedly to bring all the ice people to it. This is not to scare y'all. The problem is that we as a people are not paying attention. And as prophets, we have to sound the alarm. We have to show you what you don't see. We have to tell you what you're not paying attention to. I woke up out of that dream in a panic because it was that bad. It was that bad. And it's only going to get worse. So we have to do what Prophetess LaShanda just said. We got to be praying, y'all. Y'all out here mad about petty stuff. Y'all mad because somebody didn't. What?
Come on, pray.
He didn't what? She didn't what?
That's right.
Y'all out here mad about petty stuff. And the end is staring us in the face. And so this is, God said, prepare my people, because we're in a season of warfare. And the people aren't paying attention because they're distracted. That's what the Lord said. They're distracted. And they can't even see. I want to share one more thing. Can you do the prophetic thing? And I'm going to turn this over to Prophetess LaShanda. This is one thing that I prophesied several things at the beginning of the year. But this is one that is still in motion, because this is something that's going to set off some more stuff. So I'm just going to play the top of this just so y'all can hear this. Go ahead, Corey.
Street told me to vote this way or that way. Thank God, voting is over. Now let me tell you what's common as a prophet. Okay? And I know this is not going to sit well with many, because I know this house is divided as well. Many voted one way versus the other. That's over. I can't do nothing about that. What I am going to tell you is what the Lord showed me. The Lord showed me the death of a president in 2025 that was going to mark the, quote, end of an era. End of an era of presidents as we know it. A new government system is coming and is being established behind closed doors right now.
Right now.
It will leave many in shock, anger, and frustration. Again, I thank God the election is over, because it was probably one of the most controversial elections ever. Many.
There's a death that is about to happen. And I don't prophesy death to prophesy death, but that death is significant to let you know that a presidency as we know it, what was it, the words, like the governmental system as we know it was about to fall. That was going to be a sign to believers that it was the system as we know it is a sign that it's going to fall. And the governmental system that we have been under in the past will no longer be. So we're getting set up for a new order. And the sign, one of the signs anyway, was going to be the death of a president. So get ready by praying and fasting, because things are in our face.
Yes, I think the only thing that I think that we need to be praying about as well, as far as the end times are concerned, is they have a whole machine in Switzerland, which is called CERN. And a lot of people, y'all be seeing stuff on TikTok, but y'all don't know how deep, the depth of it. It runs underground in Switzerland, all the way up under the ground. And this particular apparatus that they called all the scientists, top scientists in the world to come and work on, it is to fuse dimensions. So if you guys know anything, we know that right now we all here together, but we know it's a dimension that we cannot physically see, but supernaturally we can see it. We can see it spiritually for those who have eyes to see. Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring those demonic forces over into a natural realm. So they're trying to rip the time, space, the fabric that's there, that veil that's there, that holds those worlds separate from one another. And so as they have this machine running, they have been, different demonic entities have been entering in as the scientists have been working. And so some of the scientists end up leaving because they're afraid, they're scared. Some of them been getting killed because they threatening to go to the news and tell different things. But at the very opening of CERN, at the headquarters where all the administration things go forth, they have a big old idol that's up, which is Shiva. And they got Shiva up, and also they have Apollyon, a destroyer, that is up. And so we don't look at things how we supposed to look at stuff. And so when we see stuff like that, we just like, oh, they crazy. No, see, you may not believe in that, but they believe in that. Just like you believe Jesus is real, just like you can pray and have a manifestation of God moving in your life, they do the same thing with demonic entities. And so when they begin to erect these things, like they were saying, Donald Trump trying to erect a statue of himself, when they erect these things, understand that there is a force, there's a principality that is going along with that. And so I want y'all to be praying, because the enemy, he's looking for bodies. He's looking for bodies. So that's a lot of the reasons why we see Elon Musk creating these hybrid robotics that's humanoid, half human, half robotic, and whatever else. Is because they need a host. They still need a body to operate. And so that's what the enemy, he's trying to build up his end time army. He's trying to do his last case, Sarah. But the people of God, we are asleep. We don't know this type of stuff. We're not talking about this in church. And so because we're not talking about it, y'all think when you hear it that it's not real. Y'all think when stuff goes on that it's not happening. Oh, that's crazy. No, it's really happening. If you've seen it in the movie, they already doing it. If you've seen it in the movie, it's already manifested here. That's his way of revealing truth to you by hiding it in plain sight. So whatever you've seen in a movie, whatever you can't even fathom, the worst things that have even possibly gone forth in the movie, understand that those things are happening now in the earth realm, and we got to arm ourselves in prayer. And when I'm talking about praying, you're going to have to get more vigilant with how you begin to pray. Not that pleading, not that, oh, help me. No, we ain't, oh, help me. We got to be strategic in how we're releasing what God has given us. He's given us the dominion, so we got to begin to release that in the earth realm.
See, I want y'all write this down. CERN. C-E-R-N. Prophets study this stuff and know about stuff like this. We're releasing it to you so you can look for yourself. CERN is the company that she's referring to. They have the goddess in front of their building. Their logo is 666. 666. I want y'all to go and study CERN and see how it is tied with Elon Musk, with the White House, with all this stuff that's going on. How they are creating portals through CERN. It's crazy, the stuff that's out there. Y'all learn something?
Thanks for tuning in to Fab Talk with Trish M. Do your girl a favor. Share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. Invite a friend to tune in. Help this podcast reach the nation. We all need Jesus, y'all. You sharing this broadcast helps me to reach the masses. If I'm blessing you, then bless your girl back. Share the broadcast. Give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. I got work to do for the King, and I need your help. I appreciate you tuning in to this segment. I'm looking forward to rocking with you on the next episode of Fab Talk with your girl, Trish M.